it, we talk about it right here on this show. So these are definitely topics that you can relate to. I love engagement. You never know, with you being in the chat, if you are going to be a highlight on the show. You never know. So make sure you comment, make sure you engage. If you love the show and you want to be a guest on the show, make sure you inbox me on IG or my admins. We have Southside, my number 4. We have my number 1, October. We have my number 2, Baldy. So if you are ever interested in being in the show, hit up one of my admins or message me directly, and we can make that happen here on today's show. There are some rules that apply. There are some rules that do apply on this
Yo,
show.
my bad. I'm just brushing my teeth right now.
Please make sure you are ready, King. There are a few rules that I would like to go over here on the show. So if I can get Channy to box up, Miss Riri to box up, and looks like we are missing Willie. And if y'all can go ahead and box up. A few rules. Okay, this is a feature show. Okay, so there are no profanity, no cursing here on the panel or in the chat. Okay, if you see someone that's in red, they will remove you if you are disrespectful here on in the chat. Okay, so they will see you in the hallway. Okay, there are also no gender bashing, no religion bashing, and it's okay to disagree respectfully, as these are these people's perspective and their life experiences, and everyone has them own. Okay, so it's okay to have your opinion, but remember, your opinion is not their opinion. Okay, your opinion is not their opinion. OG Channy, if you can box up, and Willie. Anybody seen Willie this morning? Anybody seen Willie this morning? And Willie. And we have a backup if Willie is not here. We have Baldy as a backup. Baldy, if you can go ahead and box up, and we'll have you as the replacement for Willie. And this morning, here on our panel, we have King. King, can you go ahead and please get in the camera and be seated, please, as you were given the rules for the show. Please be in the camera. So please go ahead and get ready. I'll give you another 2-3 minutes here. Go ahead and get yourself situated. We have here on the panel Miss Riri, who's filling in today. She is at work, so she will be muted here on and off, as she still wanted to be a part of the show. So she is multitasking right now. So she is here on the show. And we have our top badge, OG Channy, who came in and filled in yesterday, who's here as a guest on the show. Okay, let me know when you're ready, Baldy. And we have a guest, Willie go by firefighter. Looks like he's mission in action. But we have Baldy, who's going to get himself together, and he's going to come up here on the panel, and he's going to fill in that spot. Just let me know when you're ready, Baldy. Just press the request box down there when you're ready. Okay, so our topic. Would you date someone incarcerated or long distance? This is our topic. This is our topic. So, we gonna pass it over here to first King, because since he's the only man right here on the panel. And we're gonna pass it over to him first and have him answer our topic question. Would you date someone incarcerated a long distance, and why?
Incarcerated. If I love her, yeah. Long distance. If we have the plan to like close that gap sooner or later, sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, I don't really do the long distance.
Okay. So you would, if you love her, you would date her incarcerated, and if you're willing
Yeah,
to close the
because
gap.
I feel like if you're incarcerated, it's beyond your means to do anything. You know what I mean? So, me as somebody who loves you, I'm gonna hold you down. Like you're not. It's not like I chose to be out there or this is where I'm at and I can just get up and leave. So at that point in time, I feel like you're being oppressed. I'm gonna hold you down, especially if I love you. Um, Now as far as the long distance shit, I mean,
No person on the panel.
so as far as the long distance thing, yeah, I can't fade it. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, cause I don't know what you getting into out there. Like, I don't know what you doing. You could be lying to me, like whatever the case may be. I could be lying to you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm alright on that.
Okay. He's all right on the long distance. But make it make sense, y'all. He will date somebody if they're incarcerated. So he'll date someone and that's locked up. But he ain't willing to date someone that's on the outside that's long distance. We got to make it
Yeah,
make sense, y'all. Welcome,
I'm
welcome,
gonna make
welcome
it.
here to Life Happens with Strawberry Red. Our topic is, would you date someone incarcerated or you would date someone long distance here? Now, this is his perspective now. What do y'all would think? Would y'all date someone long distance or would you date someone incarcerated? Or would you date either one? It doesn't matter. So we're going to get it over here to a woman's perspective. And Miss Riri, if you can answer that question.
Can y'all hear me? Y'all
Yes,
can
we
hear
can.
me? Good morning, everyone. So I've done both. My last relationship was both. It was long distance, and he ended up being incarcerated. So I don't, I don't know how people see the difference sometimes because if a person's incarcerated, you still don't know what they're doing. You don't see them. You don't know who they pen pals is. You don't know who's coming to visit. You just know when it's your time to go pull up over there and see them. You know, you putting money on the books as well. So it's a trusting whether they're free or not free. It goes both ways. I mean, anything can happen when you're incarcerated. Anything can happen. So you have to trust your partner that they're doing good by you, whether they're incarcerated, they're doing good by you, whether they live 7 miles away or 1,000 miles away. So I was in New York and my ex was in Chicago. So it was rough, but we made it work. So I did both with that one person.
She did burn. I don't know if y'all catch those hints. She said anything can happen. I'm only assuming two things can happen when someone is incarcerated. Either they playing for the same team or they see the guards. Only two things can happen when incarcerated. So, use your imagination. Use your
Right.
imagination. So I have a follow-up question for you, Miss Riri.
Sure.
This person that you dated incarcerated, is this somebody you knew before or did you meet them while they were locked up?
We actually were talking for 3 weeks before they were incarcerated.
3 weeks.
And
Interesting.
we ended up being together for 5 years, and he was my fiance at the time. So it had its good, it had its pros, it had its cons, but it was a very short period of time, and I don't know. I guess it was just our own connection that we had that I just said I'm gonna ride this wave, but I never did that before. I tell you that I never did that before. So it probably will be the first and the last as far as like doing the time with them. You know what I'm saying? Um, Especially with just 3 weeks, I don't regret it though. No regrets.
No
Uh-uh.
regrets. Okay, that's
Uh-uh.
a long-term relationship. 5 years.
Hmm.
You only was with them for 3 weeks. Now,
He was
Strawberry knows.
incarcerated for two. He was incarcerated for 2 years too.
Okay, he was incarcerated.
Uh-huh.
For two. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I got some more.
I
Yeah,
know
we
you
getting
do,
the scoop
girl.
here. We getting this scoop here. Okay, we gonna pass it over to OG Channing here. Would you date someone incarcerated or long distance, or do you see it as Miss Riri's perspective that it's both? What are your thoughts?
So I wouldn't date anybody who's incarcerated. Um, well, I was okay. If we was together already and they didn't do it, then okay. That's the only clause. That's the only clause. If they didn't do it, cool, because that's not their fault. But if they did it, that's your business, and I'm not waiting for you. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not waiting because you did it and you're the reason why you're in there. Yeah, I'm not waiting. But long distance, I've done it. Yes, I've dated long distance, and I've got to know people long distance, and I like my space. So I feel like it really works for me. But I do like to be up underneath my partner as well. But I'd really like my space. So us traveling together and visiting each other and FaceTime is quite all right for me at this moment in my life. Mhm.
Okay, this room you like your space. I can feel that. Welcome here to Life Happens here with Strawberry Red. Our topic is: would you date someone incarcerated a long distance? Make sure you fave everyone here on the panel. We see you here with the gifts. Continue to support the stream. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the show. Make sure y'all comment down there in the comments because these questions are for you too. Because y'all know Strawberry's all up in your mix today. We want to know the juicy info. Okay, now OG Channing, I have a follow question because you said if they didn't do it, then you would ride the wave with them. But if they did do it, you wouldn't. How would you know if someone is not telling you the truth, whether they did it or not? And sometimes we know the system ain't always on our side. How do you determine that?
Okay, so for me, if I'm with my partner, I trust them and I should know them enough to know if they're lying or not. So it's basically going off my feeling. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong, but I'm going to go by my gut feeling.
Okay, that woman intuition, right? That woman's intuition. Okay, I feel that she's going off of gut feelings. What are y'all going off of? How do you know whether someone's telling you the truth or not? Give us those answers down there. And we're going to pass it over to that feeling. Thank you so much, Baldy, for being a part of the panel. You know, he was kind of put on the spot, but he knows he's always a feeling if I need him. But thank you so much, my Baldy. And we're going to pass it over to you. Would you date a woman incarcerated? Or would you date somebody long distance? Or would you do both?
So it all depends. If it's mine, if something happened and she do get, hands up, yes, I'm gonna hold her down. Long distance, yes, but you're gonna have to be doing everything that you're supposed to do in that situation. It shouldn't be no hiccups, if that makes sense.
You say you're gonna hold it down if she's incarcerated. How long you holding one down?
It depends, though. I mean, like you never know what happens. Like let's be clear. Now they done went out there some crazy. All right, now we gotta be clear because I mean you can't. I mean we never know what anybody's gonna do. In the spur of the moment, anything can happen. But if I don't been that person for years, to turn my back on them just because they went through some bad things, it was never meant for me to be with that person anyway. If I just gonna turn my back on them, so I would say, depending on the situation, yes, both. But both situations gonna have to hit a little bit different.
Okay. So Baldy seemed like he's a ride or die for his woman. He gonna hold her down, whether she locked up or not. Okay. He just said it depends on the situation. So we assuming if it's a weed charge versus a murder charge, he gonna decide which one which one is worth it for him. Which one is worth it for him? To decide who he gonna be with. Long distance, we don't really know because he keeps saying it depends. So um, let's see what our next question is. So our next question, we're gonna pass it over to King. What are some red flags of dating someone incarcerated or long distance?
What are some of the red flags of dating somebody that's incarcerated? You really wouldn't be able to tell them. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, it's hard because when you're incarcerated and you're dealing with somebody that's outside, like you're not gonna like Miss Riri said, you're not gonna know what they're doing, honestly. Like, how would you know if I'm writing somebody in a whole nother state? You know what I'm saying? So really, like, the only way you can check for things like that would be social media, to be honest with you. Like, that's where a lot of dudes that are incarcerated get locked up. I mean, get caught up because 9 times out of 10 they're dealing with a female that's on Facebook, that's another female that's on Facebook, and they post something about each other, then the other girl's gonna, oh well, hold up, how you know him? And so 9 times out of 10, really the only way to get caught is that. Apart from that, like, I don't know how you gonna see no red flag. Like, how you know he writing somebody else? You're not gonna know if he act different because he's always gonna act the same. You feel me?
Okay, what about long distance? They're out.
Um, long distance. I really don't. I really have never done long distance. You feel me? Like, so I don't know. Like, because for me, like, I'm not really a. I don't just be interested in everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my love language is physical touch. My love language is like affection. So if I can't do that, then like, what am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that's a whole part of that's a whole element of this relationship that's going, and that's something that I really I'm big on. So I couldn't tell you.
Okay, well, we have King. He couldn't tell us what those red flags are, but I know I can name a lot of red flags. Somebody in chat said the red flag is they are incarcerated. Okay, that's one red flag. Somebody said those phone calls are not coming in as usual. Woo, I think I can name about 10 to 20 red flags. Okay, I don't think he's paying attention to the red flags. I think he just, ooh, she look good, and we just getting into it. You know, that's Strawberry's opinion. So, you know, we need to open up and look at these red flags a little bit more. Level up, print the pony, level up, big 28, big 28. I see you, girl. Okay, we all pass it over to Miss Ruby. She actually has the experience, okay? Well, she dated someone incarcerated in long distance. What were the red flags that you noticed? Because you said you're not about to do it again. Let us know what caused you not to do it again.
You know what? It just takes a toll. It takes a toll on you mentally and emotionally, because that's where you have to fight the little like angel and the demon, like little devil. You have to fight the two, because you're like, I want to trust my man. My man in there, he doing good by me. You know, I'm putting money on his books. I'm answering all them calls. I'm taking flights, renting cars, booking rooms. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? 4 times a week. I'm going out there every 2 to 3 months. Like, you want to think you're doing good and that this person is doing good by you. Like I'm not putting money on his books or his phone calls, and he's calling somebody else too. Like it takes a lot, but the red flags is the calls do slow down, or you know, you might have a conversation and be like, hey, I'm gonna visit next week, and it's like, oh nah you know, I'm gonna pop up because Sunday, right? What's going on? Who you gonna tell me they're gonna turn me around if I come out there? You're gonna be like, oh no, ma'am, he done exceeded his visitations for the month. Would you but see, I didn't have to go through that. Like my trust level was truly, truly high in this relationship. And I don't know what made it that way, but I'm glad I actually truly went in with an open mind. So I was able to experience this, and I learned a lot about myself as well. But yes, you do have to think about the pros and the cons. You do have to think like, okay, this person, they love me, they care, they're gonna do right, they're gonna just do their time, they're gonna come home and whatever. But then you also got to think like, things is moving a little slow. They need some things. People got needs. People doing something. Like you have to think about both and just say, not my man, my man. And he's my man, and not the guards or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the red flags be there. The red flags be there. I just think we like to be a little naive sometimes, because we're just like, we strong women, we're holding down the fort. He loved me, da da da. So sometimes we like to overlook that. But if you see it or you truly feel it deep down in your gut, then you just need to let it go. Just let it go. Yeah.
Absolutely. She said, let it go. I definitely can see mental health. You definitely have to be a strong-minded person to date someone incarcerated or long distance, because your mind wanders. Like I said, you never know what they're doing. And then sometimes it can make you a little insecure a little bit about yourself, because you're questioning everything that they're doing, everything that you're doing. You just don't never know. It just your mental health, you really have to be strong. And the fact that you said trust, whoo, that's a big word.
It is.
Trust someone, Riri? Woo, 2 years?
Right.
That's a lot.
Right.
Welcome here to Life Happens with Strawberry Red. We're talking about, would you date someone incarcerated or long distance here? Well, we gonna pass it over here to OG Channing here. And what are some red flags? Because you have the experience of dating someone long distance, and you said you need the space. What are some red flags dating someone long distance or incarcerated?
So for me, incarcerated, I've got no idea. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Moving on. So long distance. So for me personally, because I've experienced it, the red flags were it was change in like the amount of communication, because as much as I like my space, because of the time difference, there was always on the phone, we was always on FaceTime, we'd go places together on the phone. Like it was a lot. Like I'd carry them places, they'd carry me places, I'd be asleep half the time because of the time difference. But it was nice, it was enough for me. And then it was like, okay, so that slowed down, so what are you doing? because you're telling me you can't go to sleep unless we're on the phone. So how you going to sleep? You supposed to? Like, what is going on? Anywho, fast forward. Thank God I listened to the red flags, because they had an ex who allegedly wouldn't leave them alone. And you know, when it's like you're trying too hard to convince me that this ex is bothering you, so you gave me your information to your Instagram. I never asked for it, you gave it to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I was like, I'm not going to go for the messages, I'm not going to do that, it's fine. But I did scroll down to see what the faces look like. Why was one of the faces their face? I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna click on that one because it's their face. Why was it a whole different Instagram with a whole different woman?
You want to know the details. You want to know the details.
A whole different Instagram, a whole different woman. Anywho, I called them. I was like, what's this on here? Blah, blah, blah. They were like, oh no, they're old photos, this, that, and the other, that, and the third. Obviously, I watch CSI. I watch Criminal Minds. My internet skills are amazing. Anywho, I found their Instagram. I messaged them. I was like, how you know so-and-so? They were like, that's my woman. Pardon? And they were like, I don't know who you think you are, but they're with me and they've been with me. So, Strawberry, everybody, why was I the other woman? I wasn't even the maid. Listen. I was the whole other woman. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah. The overcompensating, red flag. The lack of communication, red flag. Being the other woman, red flag. Hello.
Oh my, oh my. Yes. Woo, that's a little sticky here. Woo, that's a little sticky. That's a little sticky. Woo. When you find out you're the other woman and you thought you was the main one, all you can do is go like,
right.
woo, woo. Her internet skills is on the T. She's trying to find out whether you doing right or you doing wrong, whether you close by or whether you far. Us women are private investigators. We would know whether you're telling the truth or whether you're telling us something else that's not true. Okay. Welcome here to Life Happens here with Strawberry Red. I see you. Princess, you can come back and you can definitely be a guest on the show. I see you, Miss Lady. But you can also tune in here in 30 minutes at 9 o'clock where we have the after show where everyone can come in and get in the date box and put their answer in, because I'm curious to see what you got to say, Princess. I'm curious to see what you got to say. Okay, women. These are some red flags to look out for. Okay, them calls slowing down, the red flags, they're already locked up. Depending on how your relationship was before they got locked up, don't go meeting someone if they're already locked up. Okay, having those trust issues, okay, having them tell you, don't come visit me. Why not? You locked up. I should be able to come see you at any point in time. Okay, making sure you ain't the other woman, okay? Make sure you are the main, okay? Spending time. Channing says she taking you everywhere she go on FaceTime. She's sleeping with you. Okay, we can't get our quality time in, okay? Now we're going to pass it over to Baldy. Baldy, you done dated long distance before because we talked about relationship before on this panel. What were some red flags for you dating long distance?
So I say the red flags when it comes to long distance for me, definitely when it hits with long distance is the reciprocation of energy. You know, sometimes it might be one-sided, even though it's long distance. You have that one person always been the one who comes see that person, stuff like that. If you cannot give me that time, then that's gonna be a red flag, and that's gonna make me want to fall back. Because if I can get on the road to come see you, why can't you do the same for me? There's like then that open up the window to think about other things, like what are they doing when they can't, reciprocate their energy. Um, Sometimes even just like what Channy said, I know you disagree with that. That always been on the phone. That goes to, did you trust me to be in a relationship with me? Because now I feel like I have to be on the phone with you all the time. Are you thinking I'm out here doing something? Do you think I'm out here cheating or whatever? That every minute of the day when I'm home and stuff, that I have to be on the phone with you on FaceTime and stuff like that. I mean, not necessarily because if you're gonna be with somebody, whether it's long distance or not, it do still need to be a trust factor.
Mm-hmm. Trust factor. Trust factor. Definitely the factor. Okay. Baldy love this. This is his favorite line. Okay. And I can't even say it. But we gonna find out. Okay. But his thing is reciprocate energy. He says that reciprocate energy here on the app. Reciprocate energy here on the app and off the app. That just all right, y'all. Okay, my next question is, would you relocate for someone you're dating long distance? As we know, eventually someone has to get closer to someone if your relationship is serious. Would you relocate for someone long distance? And we gonna pass it over to King.
What? Hell yeah. I mean, heck yeah. Yeah. ASAP. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay, you would
Yeah.
relocate. Are you moving to them or are they moving to you?
It don't matter. I mean, if that connection is there, that's my thing. Like with long distance relationships, my question is, how long before we make that move? And then because you don't know that person, so you got to get to know that person if it's long distance. If I've never seen you in person, then how can I really say I know you? And then to move all the way out to where you're at, or for you to move all the way out to where I'm at, means I have to know you because you're people are different when you move in with them. You know what I'm saying? Like they portray to be one person. Not to say so much they portray, but they're more comfortable in their own skin when you're not living with them. And then when they get into your house, I don't know. I feel like it's easier for them to like hide the things or their flaws versus now when you're living with them. Now you have to see everything about them every day, and they can't hold up that facade or they can't hold up that front because they're around you 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like yeah, that would be a must. But the question is like, if I go all the way out there, then how far am I really going? What am I jeopardizing? What am I sacrificing? Because you're going from one place to another place. If it doesn't work out, then what do you do?
Okay, he would, and we gonna pass it over to OG Cheney. Would you relocate long distance for someone, or they need to relocate for you?
So it would just depend because I've got kids, and if they also had kids, we'd have to. Because I'm in a whole different country. Everybody I see today is always either in the Caribbean or in America. So it's like we'd have to come together and see what works best for both of us. I'm not gonna say no to moving to America, but I feel like it would be a a huge conversation that we need to have. I'd happily move if that's the choice that we had to make. But if it was easier for them to come here, like say they had no kids and they came here and that's easy for them, or depending on what kind of job they have, if they can't get that kind of work over here, then I'd have to go over there kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? Because I could sort the kids out and move them over there. But it would just depend on our situations, whether they've got kids and what kind of work they do and things like that.
Okay. Yes. Being a mother, I definitely understand the children come first. Understand your your family dynamic, whether that would be the same thing for me. If I was to relocate for someone, I definitely have to take in consideration my job, which that's not a problem because I can work from anywhere in the world. My children's school, is it the best fit for them? And then for me, I would also think about isolation. If I move, do I know anybody there? Am I going to be alone? As we all need someone other than our partner to talk to. We all need someone that we can communicate with outside our partner, because then I don't want to get there and then start feeling sad and depressed because I left everything and everyone behind. As for me, if I was dating someone long distance, they would actually have to move to me. And the only reason I say that is because I've moved around a lot when I was a little girl. My mom moved a lot. But I moved here to the state that I am to be closer to my mom because my mom is ill with cancer. So I came here to be closer to my mom to help take care of her and her well being. So for me, they would have to come to me before I would pick up and leave behind for multiple reasons. So we have to think about those reasons when we're dating someone. I see y'all. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone to find one that you desire. Right. And sometimes who is for us may not be in our same area. So we also have to be open minded to dating someone else as well. Now, this is the question that we all wonder. Do you believe it's harder to remain faithful in a long distance relationship? Is it harder to remain faithful? And we're gonna pass it back over to you, King.
No, because I mean, I don't know about the counterpart, but for me, to be honest with you, if you're faithful, you're faithful. If you're gonna stand on what you're gonna stand on, you're gonna stand on it, whether I'm here with you or I'm not. So if my presence is what causes you to be loyal, then nah, I wouldn't even want to be with you anyways. Am I? So nah, I shouldn't change that.
Okay, shouldn't change it. So you don't find it harder for you being a male
I
to
believe no,
remain
I believe
faithful.
it. I believe it is. I believe it is. But that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't even want. That's why I don't do long distance relationships because your loyalty should be what it is. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you're not going to know that with a person because you're not around them. You don't know. And that's the thing about it. 9 times out of 10, when somebody doesn't have something or they're missing something, they're going to go out and find something to fill that spot. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I feel like if I'm not in that person's presence, or if I'm not even so much so in that presence, but if I don't satisfy that person in the areas that exactly the attention, the kissing, the holding, like if I'm not there for that, those parts of those elements of the relationship, then that's going to be filled or satisfied another way. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with a long distance relationship, nah, I'm not. I'm not on that.
Okay, he's saying it can be
Yeah,
harder. It can be harder. Welcome, 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 y'all, to Life Happens Here with Strawberry Red. We are talking about, would you date someone incarcerated or would you date someone long distance? We're gonna pass it over here to Shannon. Do you find it harder to remain faithful when dating someone long distance?
No. So I feel like you both know what you signed up for. So if you couldn't stay faithful and you know you can't do the long distance thing, then why are we here? There's just don't do it. Like the gentleman at the top, he said he couldn't do it. So just don't do it. We shouldn't then be in it and be like, okay, so I'm just going to be with her because I don't want us to be with anybody else. That's selfish because you know you can't stay faithful. So that's not nice. I would stay faithful simply because I've decided to do this. This is something I've agreed to do, and I'm in for the long haul until obviously you mess up or I don't want to be here anymore for other reasons, not because I don't want to be faithful.
Right, absolutely. I see y'all down there. It looks like we got some mixed signals down there. The men saying it is. The women saying no. Some people say just leave. Someone say, why cheat? Just break up. It sounds like to me, you need to understand yourself. What can you handle? Can you handle being faithful? We all know we have needs, right? So as soon as those needs are not being met, we tend to wander off because what you notice is like soon as you get into a relationship, it seems like everybody start coming out the woodworks and they all interested in you at the time that you finally find somebody. And when you're single, it be dry as a desert. Ain't nobody in your inbox, ain't nobody trying to holler. But the moment you get in that relationship, that temptation comes around. So understanding who yourself is. Could you date long distance? Well, could I date long distance? It really depends on the guy for me and the rules, because we're going to have rules put in place. And when I mean rules, we're going to have them boundaries. We're going to have expectations set. Okay, for an example, some of the rules and expectations I'm going to have set with my man is we going to have to be talking to each other on a regular. And I'm going to have to FaceTime you like Channing on a regular, at least talk to each other once a day. If we can't talk because our schedule is busy, at least just send me a good morning or good night and say how your day was going. A text message, we got 24 hours in a day of communication, okay? Another rule is I need to see you every month, okay? At least once a month. Either I'm flying into you or you flying into me. If we not too far where it's a drive, 3-4 hour drive, then we need to see each other at least twice a month and be driving down for the weekend. We gonna have rules put in place, okay? And we need to date. So if we are not able to date physically in person, then we need to plan a virtual date and have some dinner in front of each other. Be creative on keeping our relationship up to par. So we are going to bring it over here to Baldy. Do you find it harder to be faithful dating a long distance relationship when you was in one?
No.
No. Why not?
Honestly, when I commit to something, and you can say lies, when I commit, I commit. I'm with that person. And we can all be grown about it. I see you in the comments saying lies and stuff. Let's be grown. A lot of people, everybody don't like their time and energy being wasted. I don't like to waste my energy or my time. So long distance or whether they're here with me or not, it's not hard because I'm not gonna waste your time. Do not waste mine.
Okay, there it is. Baldy said, no wasting time. He doesn't find it harder. Like Channing said, is you know what you signed up for. So understanding yourself and making sure that this is something that you can handle, as we all have feelings here, and life is too short to be wasting each other's time. And if you're really serious about having a relationship, make sure you ask those right questions when you are dating long distance to make sure y'all are both on the same page. Now, this is my next question that's going to get y'all on the same page. How long should it take for someone to date long distance before they decide to move together and relocate in the same area? How long should one date long distance before they need to come together and eventually move and stay in the same area? Is there a time frame? And I'm going to pass it on to King.
I feel like each situation is different. The longer the better, to be honest with you. But at the same time, yeah. I mean, you listen to what you're saying. You're saying to move in with each other or whatever the case, you're gonna uproot yourself for a person that you're meeting virtual, okay? And we're getting to know each other. But then once we move in together, like how I don't people change. I promise you, I've been in that situation a couple times. And when you there are two different people when you're living with them, and there are two different people. They're a whole different person when you're. Go ahead, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um,
you kind of said that earlier. The thing is, whether it's long distance in the same state, you date, you're gonna spend nights, you're gonna do
you
things, you're
mean in
gonna
the
get to know
same
that.
state?
No, it's how if either if it's in the same state or a different state, you're gonna spend time with that person. You're gonna get time to get to know that person. You're not gonna decide to just move in with a person you never even lived with them
Right.
or see how they act in the element, see how they keep their house or anything like that. You're gonna move with somebody you don't know if they can even take care of washing dishes and stuff like that.
So you don't.
Long distance or not, ain't no way.
Listen,
it is no way.
yo,
Make that
you
drive.
forgot. No, bro. Listen,
No,
I
I'm gonna
promise
make that
you.
drive.
Listen,
I'm gonna buy that
listen, I've
ticket.
been in the
Wait a minute, everybody can't talk at one time. Okay.
Like, I'm gonna make that drive. I'm gonna buy that ticket. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go and spend time and getting that person on a different level. It's no just I'm not gonna know. It's not knowing. You're gonna know.
Okay, okay. So you're gonna know. Well, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to move in with each other. Relocating and eventually being in the same state or area. You can move to the same state or area and have your own place without moving in. But when is one gonna come together? When is the time frame? And I'm gonna pass it over to OG Channing.
Okay, so for me, I live in a whole different country, not a different state. So it's like I'd have to trial me going down there or them coming up here before we just uproot and leave. It would have to be trialed, because even my last partner that I had, they still had their place and we trialed living together before they gave up their place. It wasn't just give up your place and move in with me, because I've got kids, and people that don't have kids, it's a big difference for them to go into a household with children with a totally different routine. It's not just them getting up in the morning, getting ready for work and going. It's a whole different life. So I felt it was best that we trial them living with me before they uproot and just leave. Because what if they're not comfortable? It might take time for them to get used to it. It doesn't mean we can't be together. It just means they need a bit more time, because it's a big change. I've got 3 kids, not just one. it's a big change. So from experience, I've trialed it when I've lived here, and if it was long distance, I'd have to do exactly the same thing. I'd have to trial it first.
Right. I like that. I like that. Trial. I think everyone should do a trial, right? Even whether you're in a different state or not, right? So we go visit someone maybe for a short period of time, but then maybe next time we stay a little longer. Maybe next time we bring 1 or 2 items and keep them there at the house and see if it's okay if our items are still going to be there when we come back, or did they hide them because they had somebody else visiting, or did you catch another woman or man's clothing in your drawer because they forgot to change it out. These are some things that you can do. I like that. Do a trial period. And then based off of the trial period and how your experience go with living with someone, or even seeing yourself, could I live in this area? Is this area for me? Is the community for me? Is the environment for me? Is this culture I can fit in? There's a lot of variables that you have to consider in one. And Baldy with his church finger, so we're gonna pass it over to the deacon. Go ahead and add your input.
No, my thing is, I just say before you add the next question, my thing is like everyone, like y'all say other things. So let's talk about the jobs. Let's talk about the careers. Let's talk about the other things. So are the jobs and the careers the things going to be something that's looked into before we make a decision or who going to move? And then you got to look at other things. You got to put family and other things in perspective. You don't know who got people sick or going through whatever. So it goes to the point, are both sides willing to compromise when it comes into Spirit said whoever broke out move. I mean, but no, you gotta look because job. So if I'm thriving, doing good, run up the ranks, getting promotion after promotion to promotion, you want me to leave my job to move? Yes, you might be closer to your family. And in my situation, I might be close to mine. I might not be ready to just leave my job when I'm thriving and I got my family or whatever. Yes, traveling and everything else is also there, especially if I'm thriving and stuff. We have the money and stuff to travel to make sure both sides get to see their family, but that stuff got to be put into perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that is where a conversation where your partners need to lay out everything. What are the pros if I move? What are the cons? Who is outweighing what? Spree said whoever's broker, period, point blank, needs to move, because that's going to be the person taking care of the household. I want to get another question in because we talked about the red flags, but what are the pros? How can you maintain a healthy relationship dating someone long distance? Me personally, I'm not even going to add incarcerated in there, because I don't even think you can maintain a healthy relationship with somebody incarcerated. Me personally. So I'm going to ask, how can you maintain a healthy relationship dating someone long distance? And we're going to pass it over to you, OG Channing, and then I'm going to come back to you, King.
Could you repeat the question?
How can you maintain a healthy relationship dating someone long distance?
Communication, really. But that's the main thing, to be quite honest. And it's like trust as well, because some people say they trust you, but they really don't. And you can just tell by their actions and the stuff that they do and the way they bring themselves and present themselves. Healthy. So for me, okay, relationships in general, and especially long distance, if you trust somebody, it shouldn't be they have to earn your trust kind of thing. For me personally, I trust people until they give me reason not to. I'm not going to be like, oh, I see signs from that last person I was with, or this person did this. They are not that person. So I don't see why they have to have the burden on them of being similar to somebody else when they're being themselves. Like, we shouldn't go into a relationship with all the past. You need to get rid of that and work on it and be able to move forward, because that's unhealthy and we're trying to stay healthy.
Absolutely. Maintaining a healthy relationship, having trust, and dealing with your past issues first. I'm not to blame for what happened in your last relationship. So healing is very important. I agree with that 100%, Channing, because sometimes people are not fully healed and they bring that into the next relationship, not realizing that they are, because they don't recognize the sign, but their partner can recognize the signs for them. So making sure that you're healed and you're truly ready. I agree. Those are things that can help maintain a healthy relationship. And we're going to bring it over to you, King. How can you maintain a healthy relationship dating long distance?
Just knowing yourself. That's it.
Knowing yourself. That's it.
Knowing yourself. That's it. I mean, know what you can put up with. Know what you believe in. Know what I mean? And know what you want. As simple as that. I mean, the other person has to do that. If I can't deal with, uh, let's say, a 6 hour drive every day, or having to fly 2, 3 states away, then of course you're going to become unfaithful. If you can't deal with not having physical touch or having somebody there, then of course you're going to be unfaithful. So it's just pretty much knowing yourself, knowing if you're able to trust that person or not, uh, knowing if you're ready to be in a relationship, just knowing yourself.
Knowing yourself. I like that. Tony said, definitely praying together. Family that prays together stays together, including God, is growing relations and powerful and needed. That's if that is their religion, because not everyone has the same religion too. So I say the biggest thing maintaining a healthy relationship is communication, getting to know each other, getting to know what your wants are and also your needs are, and understanding the person's needs and wants that you are dating long distance. Is this something that you can see yourself moving for, or is this something that you're willing to accept into your life? Because doing a long distance can change each other's lives, because eventually, if you're serious about each other, someone has to sacrifice everything for the next person. So remember, sacrifice is very important, and understanding what is happening and moving forward in your life and their life. So there's a lot of variables to consider. So I would say, when you're thinking about doing a long distance relationship, write down the pros, write down the cons, write down what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, and make sure that you talk it over to your partner. And I'm going to ask Baldy, One last final question. How can you maintain a healthy relationship dating long distance?
Well, everybody know my favorite term, reassurance. Like a lot of people go and dip and dab and everything else. You have to let that person know that reassurance piece hits different. If you cannot talk and give that person the reassurance they need, is no need to sit there and waste time with that person. If I feel like I'm not getting the reassurance or that that person actually want to be with me and feel that that person want to be with me, I feel like that it's a waste of my time. Reassurance hits in a lot of different ways. Long distance, you're gonna need it more than someone who's in the same state that you're in. That random call in the middle of the night because you think about that person is gonna hit different. That random text is gonna hit different. Shit, just pulling up on that person and surprising them because you missed them is gonna hit different. Let that person know that you're thinking about them. Long distance, if you do not have reassurance or that person allows you to know that they feel that way, there's no need to even be in that relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely. Keyword is reassuring your partner that everything's gonna be okay. Communicating with your partner, letting them know that you're there for them. As this will conclude our show for today, would you date someone incarcerated? You date someone long distance? I appreciate everyone here in the comments, as these are some great comments today. They will be highlighted on the IG. Make sure you follow my IG. Make sure you fave everyone here on the panel as well. We see y'all. We appreciate the gifts here today. And we had some guests drop here today, and we had some guests not show up here today. But as you can see, we still keep it moving here. And thank y'all. And I see a lot of requests. If you are wanting to be a guest on the show, please inbox me, as I do not take randoms during the first hour of the show. We do always have an after show if you love the topic and you're not part of the panel, that you can hop in the date box and still give your opinion in the after show. You're new here, make sure you tap on a fave with everyone. And we're going to have everyone go ahead and tell a little bit about themselves and what they have going on in their stream. And we're going to pass it over to King. Tell them who you are when you stream, what you got going on.
Typically, I'm TLF, the loyal few, aka the loyal family. Um, we pretty much we just talk about real life topics. I mean, we don't got a show, we don't got nothing at this point, but we do have support challenges. Um, but pretty much we just got a good group over here, good people, loyal people. And we just build and talk. I mean, so,
All right. Thank you, King. I appreciate you. I'm going to have you drop. And OG Shani, if you can tell them a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, when they can find you streaming.
So I'm OG Shani first, Talk Badge second. I stream Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Monday I do games night at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesdays I do topics in the daytime, 5 a.m. for y'all, because it's like 9 o'clock my time. Thursdays I do karaoke open mics. That's later on today. We have a lot of special guests. Anyone's free and welcome to come at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Thank you so much, Shani. It's a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank
Y'all
you.
make sure y'all hit her with the fave. And if everyone in the chat need a fave, go ahead and drop that strawberry in chat. And Baldy, tell them what you got going on, when they can find you and catch you streaming.
Well, of course, you know I always gotta do it the right way. Body in the building. Um, I'm a late night streamer, early morning streamer. It's rare that you'll find me streaming during the day. I will switch it up sometimes just to show that I can be different. Um, I have an auction coming up. Did not want to do no auction. Was not thinking about the auction, but somebody want asked me, so I'm here, and I'm the opening for that auction. So of course, let's open this auction up the right way, and that people know, you know, the vibes. But I chill. You never know what you're gonna get in my live. It's usually very chill, but it's a place that I like for people to call home. So we can talk art, chill, vibe, and have fun. But that's it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Baldy. And Baldy forgot to tell y'all that he will be starting very soon on the weekends, karaoke night at 10 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Make sure y'all tap in, not this weekend, but the next following weekend. He'll probably be starting that. So tap in on karaoke night each night after 10 o'clock p.m. in his stream. Okay, y'all, I am your host, Strawberry Red. What does Strawberry Red have going on? I have a lot. Yes, go ahead and leave them school clothes and go ahead and get your robe and come in that robe and lingerie auction for me, Jody. Okay. Hey, so what I have going on, August 20th, Baldy mentioned it, I will be hosting an auction here in my stream for Neria's birthday, okay? Make sure that you tap in, okay? 8 p.m. Eastern time zone. We're going to have a pre-party. We're going to turn up here in my stream. 9 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and kick off our auction. And Neria is the last person to go at 10 o'clock. So at 10:05, we are turning up in her stream with the birthday badge. Okay, so it's gonna be live, lit. Make sure you pull up. Okay, next event I have is September the 10th at 9 a.m. Eastern. It is called Who Knows Strawberry the Best. It is a support challenge. The difference with my support challenges, most support challenges require you to add an entry. I'm not asking you to add an entry. I'm asking you to answer the questions about me. So I will be asking you questions. Whoever can get the most questions right will be getting a gift from your one and only Strawberry. So it's coming out of my pocket. You don't have to do nothing. This is just for my supporters who come and support me. So if you support me in any form of fashion, come get in on the questions. What your prize can be? Could be a Goldie. Could be a lightning. Could be a stone. Could be an icy. Who knows? Let's see if you can get the questions right. Do you really pay attention to me? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Make sure you tap in September 10th, 9 a.m. Eastern. It's going down here in the stream. Next event, September 23rd. Mark your calendar. I am hosting a robe and lingerie auction for women and men. If you saw my last auction, the gray sweats and lingerie, it did go pretty viral. So make sure you tap in. I do have some opening slots. I still have 3 slots open for ladies and 2 slots open for men.